Alright, let's talk money. Or more specifically, let's talk about not having enough of it. It happens. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe things are a bit tight right now. You look at your bank account and it looks back, sadly. The good news? You can absolutely take control. You don't need a six-figure salary to start managing your money like a pro. What you need is a budget. I know. The word budget sounds boring. It sounds like restrictions. It sounds like no more fun. But trust me on this one. A budget isn't about punishment. It's about giving your money a job. It's about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Think of it this way. A budget is like a map for your financial journey. Without a map, you're just wandering around. You might stumble upon something good, sure, but you're more likely to get lost or end up somewhere you didn't want to be, like deep in debt. A budget gives you direction. It shows you the path to your financial goals. Whether your goal is to pay off debt, save for a down payment, or just stop stressing about bills every month, a budget is the tool that will get you there. It's about making conscious choices with your cash, no matter how little you think you have. Many people think budgeting is only for people with lots of money to manage. That's completely backward. Budgeting is even more crucial when money is tight. When every single dollar counts, you need to make sure every single dollar is working for you, not against you. It's about maximizing what you have. It's about making a little go a long way. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is about building a solid foundation for your financial future. One small, smart decision at a time. It's about gaining peace of mind. Knowing you are in control is a pretty powerful feeling, believe me. So if you're tired of feeling broke, if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then you're in the right place. We're going to break down how to budget like a pro, even if your income is modest. I'm not going to give you complicated spreadsheets or confusing financial jargon. We're keeping it simple. We're keeping it actionable. By the end of this, you'll see that budgeting isn't scary. It's your secret weapon for financial success. It's time to give your money some serious direction and start building the life you want. Let's get into it. So what exactly is this magical thing called a budget? It's not complicated, I promise. A budget is simply a plan for how you will spend your money. That's it. It's a list of your income, the money coming in, and your expenses, the money going out. The goal is to make sure your expenses aren't bigger than your income. Sounds pretty basic, right? Because it is. The power of a budget comes from actually making one and then sticking to it. It forces you to look at your spending habits in black and white. Sometimes that can be a bit of an eye-opener, and not always in a fun way. Why is this so important? Especially when you're broke. Well, when you don't have a lot of money, every dollar is precious. You can't afford to waste it on things that don't matter, or worse, on things you don't even realize you're buying. A budget helps you identify where your money is leaking away. Maybe it's that daily fancy coffee. Maybe it's those subscription services you signed up for and forgot about. Without a budget, these little leaks can sink your financial ship before you even know what's happening. It helps you plug those leaks. A budget also helps you prioritize. When funds are limited, you have to make choices. Do you really need that new gadget? Or would that money be better used for paying down a high-interest credit card? A budget helps you make these decisions consciously, rather than impulsively. It aligns your spending with your values and your goals. It's about being intentional. It's not about depriving yourself of everything. It's about making sure you're spending your limited resources on what truly matters to you in the long run. This is key to getting ahead when you're starting with less. Think of yourself as the CEO of your own money. Your budget is your business plan. No successful business operates without a plan, without tracking its income and expenses. Your personal finances are no different. Being broke doesn't mean you can't be a good financial manager. In fact, it means you have to be an even better one. A budget empowers you. It puts you in the driver's seat. It transforms you from a passive observer of your financial situation into an active participant, ready to make changes for the better. The very first step to creating a budget that actually works is to figure out where your money is currently going. You need to become a money detective. For at least 1 month, I want you to track every single penny you spend. Yes, every penny. That coffee you bought, write it down. That pack of gum, write it down. That small online purchase, write it down. It might seem tedious, but this step is absolutely critical. You can't make a plan for your money if you don't have a clear picture of your current spending habits. This is like the groundwork before building a house. There are many ways to do this. You can use a simple notebook and pen. Old school, but it works. You can use a spreadsheet on your computer. Or you can use one of the many budgeting apps out there that can often link to your bank accounts and automatically categorize your spending. The method doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Find what works for you and stick with it. The goal here is to gather data. No judgment yet, just facts. You might be surprised or even a little shocked by where your money actually goes. That's okay, that's why we're doing this. Once you have a month's worth of data, it's time to categorize your expenses. Group similar expenses together. For example, you might have categories like rent, mortgage, utilities, electricity, water, gas, internet, groceries, transportation, gas, public transport, debt payments, entertainment, eating out, personal care, and so on. This will help you see the big picture. You'll clearly see which areas are eating up most of your income. This is where you'll start to find opportunities for savings later on. Be as detailed as you can. The more detail, the better your budget will be. Here's a basic budget template idea you can create. List all your income sources at the top, then total your monthly income. Below that, list all your expense categories. Next to each category, write down how much you actually spent from your tracking. Then, create a column for how much you plan to spend in the future. This is your budget. The aim is for planned spending to be less than or equal to your income. This simple structure: income, actual expenses, budgeted expenses, is the backbone of your financial plan. It sounds simple because it is, but it's incredibly effective. Okay, money detective, you've tracked your spending. You know where the cash is flowing. Now comes the really important part: distinguishing between your needs and your wants. This is often where people struggle, but it's the absolute core of successful budgeting, especially when you're trying to make every dollar stretch. Needs are the essentials. These are the things you absolutely must have to live and work. Think housing, rent or mortgage, basic food, groceries, not restaurant meals, utilities, water, electricity, essential transportation to get to work, and any critical medical expenses or insurance. These are non-negotiable. Wants, on the other hand, are everything else. These are the things that are nice to have, but you could technically live without them if you had to. This includes things like entertainment, movies, concerts, eating out at restaurants, designer clothes, the latest smartphone, expensive hobbies, streaming subscriptions you barely use, daily fancy coffees, and so on. It's important to be really honest with yourself during this step. Sometimes we convince ourselves that a want is actually a need. That daily $5 latte, probably a want, not a need, even if it feels essential some mornings. This isn't about saying you can never have any wants. Life would be pretty dull without some enjoyment. The goal is to prioritize your needs first. Ensure all your essential needs are covered by your income. Then, with whatever money is left over, if any, you can strategically allocate some of it to your wants. The key is strategically. This means making conscious choices about which wants give you the most value or happiness, rather than just mindlessly spending on all of them. It's about making trade-offs. Maybe you cut back on eating out so you can save for a small vacation. When you're broke, the wants category is where you'll find the most room to cut back. Look at your spending tracker. How much money went towards wants last month? Could some of that have been redirected towards paying off debt or building an emergency fund? This is not about making yourself miserable. It's about making smart choices today so you can have a better financial future tomorrow. It's a shift in mindset. Instead of thinking I can't afford that, you start thinking, how can I make that fit into my plan? Or is this want more important than my financial goals? Section 5, Step 3, set your money goals. What are you saving for? Now that you know where your money goes and you've thought about your needs versus your wants, it's time for the exciting part: setting financial goals. Why are you doing all this budgeting stuff anyway? What's the point of tracking pennies and cutting back on lattes? Without clear goals, it's easy to lose motivation. Your goals are your why. They give your budget purpose. They turn budgeting from a chore into a tool that helps you achieve what you really want in life. So, take some time to think about what's important to you. Your financial goals can be short-term, medium-term, or long-term. A short-term goal might be something like saving $500 for an emergency fund in the next 3 months, or paying off a small credit card debt in 6 months. A medium-term goal could be saving for a down payment on a used car, or funding a certification course to improve your job prospects. Long-term goals are things like saving for retirement, yes, even if it feels a million years away, start small, or becoming completely debt-free. Write these goals down. Make them SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of a vague goal like save more money, a SMART goal would be save $100 per month for the next 12 months to build a $1,200 emergency fund. See the difference? It's specific, measurable, hopefully achievable with your budget, relevant to your financial security, and time-bound. Having clear goals like this will help you make those daily spending decisions. When you're tempted to buy something that's not in the budget, you can ask yourself, will this purchase help me reach my goal of saving $100 this month, or will it move me further away? Once you have your goals, integrate them into your budget. If your goal is to save $100 a month, then savings $100 becomes a line item in your budget, just like rent or groceries. Treat it like a bill you have to pay. Pay yourself first. This is crucial. Don't just save whatever is left over at the end of the month because often there's nothing left. Make saving a priority. Even if you can only save a tiny amount at first, like $10 or $20 a month, that's okay. The important thing is to build the habit. Small amounts add up over time, believe me. Section 6 / You're spending smart cuts, not sad cuts. Alright, you've tracked, you've categorized, you've identified needs versus wants, and you've set some goals. Now it's time to look for areas where you can realistically cut costs. This is where the rubber meets the road. The idea isn't to make your life miserable by cutting out everything you enjoy. It's about making smart cuts, finding ways to reduce expenses without drastically reducing your quality of life. It's about being a savvy consumer. Look at your expense tracking again, especially the wants category, and even some needs where you might be overspending. One of the biggest areas where people overspend is food. Eating out, takeaway meals, and daily coffee shop visits can add up incredibly fast. A $5 coffee every workday is $25 a week, or $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. Think about it. Challenge yourself to cook more meals at home. Pack your lunch for work. Brew your own coffee. You'll be amazed at how much you can save. And honestly, homemade food is often healthier too. Look for sales at the grocery store, plan your meals, and try to reduce food waste. These small changes can make a huge difference to your bottom line. Next, take a hard look at your subscriptions and recurring bills. Do you really need 5 different streaming services? Are you actually using that gym membership you pay for every month? Go through your bank statements and identify all those little automatic payments. Cancel anything you don't use or don't truly value. For services you do use, see if there are cheaper alternatives or family plans. For utilities like your phone or internet, call your providers and ask if there are any better deals or promotions available. Sometimes just asking can save you money. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Transportation is another area where costs can creep up. If you own a car, gas, insurance, maintenance, and parking can be a big drain. Could you use public transportation more often? Or carpool with a coworker? If you live close enough, consider walking or cycling for short trips. It's good for your wallet and your health. If you're looking for a new place to live, consider the transportation costs associated with its location. Every dollar you save on these regular expenses is a dollar you can put towards your financial goals, or towards building that crucial emergency fund. Section 7, Your Financial Shield. Building an emergency fund, slow and steady. Life is unpredictable. That's just a fact. Your car might break down. You might have an unexpected medical bill. You could even lose your job. These things happen. And when they do, if you don't have any savings set aside, a small emergency can quickly turn into a major financial crisis, forcing you into debt. That's where an emergency fund comes in. It's your financial shield. It's a sum of money saved specifically for these unforeseen urgent expenses. Having this safety net can be the difference between weathering a storm and sinking. Now, if you're broke, the idea of saving hundreds or thousands of dollars for an emergency fund might seem impossible. I get it. But here's the thing. You don't have to save it all at once. Start small. Even $5 or $10 a week is a start. The most important thing is to begin. Automate it if you can. Set up a small, regular transfer from your checking account to a separate savings account specifically for your emergency fund. Out of sight, out of mind. This way, you're less tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. Remember those small savings we talked about? They add up. How much should you aim for? Financial experts often recommend having 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses in your emergency fund. That can be a big number, so don't let it overwhelm you. Your first goal could be much smaller, like $500 or $1,000. This amount can cover many common small emergencies and keep you from reaching for a credit card. Once you reach that initial goal, you can work towards a larger one. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a buffer is invaluable. It reduces stress significantly. Think of building your emergency fund as a marathon, not a sprint. Every little bit you contribute gets you closer to the finish line. If you get an unexpected windfall like a small tax refund or a birthday gift, consider putting a portion of it into your emergency fund. When you cut an expense from your budget, redirect that saved money into your emergency savings. It takes discipline, yes. But building this fund is one of the most important steps you can take towards financial stability, especially when you're starting from a place where money is tight. It's truly a game changer. Section 8. Need more cash? Let's find it. Sometimes, even with the best budgeting and cost-cutting efforts, there just isn't enough money to cover everything, especially if you're trying to pay off debt or save for big goals. In these situations, you might need to look at the other side of the equation, increasing your income. This doesn't necessarily mean finding a new, high-paying job overnight, although that's always an option to explore in the long term. There are often ways to bring in a little extra cash, and every bit helps when you're working towards financial freedom. One popular option is to find a side gig or a part-time job. Think about skills you already have. Are you good at writing, graphic design, social media, or tutoring? Websites like Upwork or Fiverr connect freelancers with clients. Maybe you could do pet sitting, babysitting, or delivery driving in your spare time. Even a few extra hours a week can make a noticeable difference to your income. The key is to find something that fits your schedule and doesn't burn you out. Remember, the goal is to improve your financial situation, not make your life unbearable. Another way to generate some quick cash is to sell things you no longer need. Go through your closets, your garage, your attic. You might be surprised at what you find. Old electronics, clothes you haven't worn in years, books, furniture, collectibles. These can all be sold online through platforms like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Poshmark. Or you could have a good old-fashioned garage sale. It's a great way to declutter your home and make some money at the same time. That unused stuff is just collecting dust. Turn it into cash you can use for your goals. Finally, always be looking for opportunities to improve your main source of income. Can you ask for a raise at your current job if you've taken on more responsibility or performed well? Could you gain new skills or certifications that would make you more valuable in the job market? Investing in yourself and your earning potential is one of the best long-term strategies. While side hustles are great for a boost, increasing your primary income can have a more significant and lasting impact on your financial well-being. Don't underestimate your ability to earn more. Section 9 conclusion. Stick to the plan. Financial freedom is calling. So, there you have it. Budgeting like a pro isn't some secret code only rich people know. It's about simple, practical steps that anyone can take, no matter how much or how little they earn. It's about tracking your money, understanding your needs versus wants, setting clear goals, cutting costs smartly, building that essential emergency fund, and even finding ways to boost your income. It's about taking control. It's about giving your money purpose. It's about making your money work for you, for a change. This is how you start winning with money. The journey to financial freedom, especially when you're starting from a place of being broke, isn't always easy. There will be times when you feel like giving up. There will be temptations to go off budget. That's normal. The key is to stay committed. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. If you have a bad day or a bad week, don't throw in the towel. Just get back on track with the next paycheck the next day. Review your budget regularly, maybe once a month, and make adjustments as your income or expenses change. Your budget is a living document, not something set in stone. Remember the long-term benefits. Financial discipline today leads to more choices and less stress tomorrow. Imagine a future where you're not constantly worried about bills. Imagine being able to handle an unexpected expense without panicking. Imagine being able to save for the things that truly matter to you, whether it's a comfortable retirement, a home of your own, or the ability to help your loved ones. This is all possible even with a limited income if you stick to your budget and make consistent, smart choices. Small savings really do add up over time. You have the tools now. You have the knowledge. The most important thing is to start. Don't wait for the perfect time because it will never come. Start today. Start small. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your small wins along the way. Budgeting isn't about restricting your life, it's about building a better one. It's about creating a foundation of financial stability that will support you for years to come. Financial freedom is within your reach. Go out there and make it happen. You've got this.